Texans fans might finally be getting something that they have long desired from the Houston Texans. Posts across Houston Texans social media on Thursday have requested fan feedback on the future of the organization's uniforms. A change in the uniforms could be on the horizon. How can you impact that? We'll tell you in this video. We'll walk you through some of the intricacies of the fan survey that the Texans would like for you to take. We'll talk about what these uniforms could look like. I'm Cody Stoots. I would appreciate a subscribe at the bottom of this video, like, and we got plenty of questions for you to answer in the comments. So get in there. We love to talk and mix it up in the comments here on this channel. Thursday, the Texans social media accounts send out various posts, Twitter, Instagram, talking about a fan feedback survey on the jerseys. I'll read you from the website, and of course, I would want you to take the survey. The Texans want you to take the survey. I want new uniforms. You can help get new uniforms by taking the survey. A link to the survey is in the description of this video. But they posted a survey on the Houston Texans website, and the team is in the process of exploring uniform changes for the 2024 season. They go on to say that over the past few months, they've collected data from social media, fan focus groups, current players, Houston Texans legends, and other places, and now they want to hear from you. So the survey goes through a bunch of different things. We'll get into it here in a minute, but 2024 is when we could see a change in the Houston Texans jerseys. Let's talk about these current jerseys. Right now, I feel like it is a very solid and a very early 2000s jersey. A lot more traditional look to the Texans, in my opinion. A lot more basic look. There's not a lot of edginess, not a lot of sharpness in the jerseys from the way they're designed. And red, white, and blue are the Texans colors. They're obviously the state of Texas colors. They're obviously the United States colors as well. So nothing wrong with the red, white, and blue. But as far as the jerseys now, they do come off as a bit more traditional than some of the jerseys you see in the NFL. And the Texans, like 20 or so years old, don't have a tremendous amount of tradition. In fact, these jerseys and some of the times that they've been wearing these jerseys are often associated with really tough moments in the history of this organization. So an update in the jerseys, a change, a tweak, something of that nature could go a long way in changing the way people view this team and view certainly the jerseys that this team wears on a week-to-week basis. As far as they go now, I like the color scheme. I like the red, white, and blue. I would add a little bit more red. I don't know that I'd make it necessarily the primary color. It feels like right now the deep steel blue is the primary color of the organization, along with Liberty White and Battle Red kind of adding in there. But people seem to really like the red helmets, the red jerseys. I don't know if I love the red on red, but the red helmets and the red jerseys seem to be very popular. We'll talk again about the survey, but you're asked about which uniform combinations are indeed your favorite. So I like the color scheme that the team has right now. I would just like to see some more sharpness in the way the uniforms are designed. And what I mean is a lot more straight lines, a lot more cuts, some designs within the uniform. I don't love like gradient colors, so like stuff that kind of fades or that's kind of like shaded weird, but just some sharpness and some more, sort of right angle stuff on this jersey would go a long way in changing the look of the jersey. And of course, there is a thought process, there is an idea that you could incorporate some of the Oilers colors, Oilers homage, that Columbia blue style into the uniform, be it as an accent color or a full-blown actual new piece of a uniform for this team. What do you think about adding in any sort of Oilers or Oilers-like reference to the jersey? I'm not talking about an oil derrick, obviously, but that powder blue, that Columbia blue, that blue Oilers color. Could it be in there? Could it be mixed in there? I know there are some fans that feel very strongly about not having anything to do with the Oilers. This is the Texans. Well, what do we care about with the Oilers? And I know some fans that think that the Texans and Oilers should stay separate. And obviously there's some fans that would love to see a unique change and a difference in this jersey that includes that Oiler blue. So what do you think? Put that in the comments. Should the Oiler blue be in there. All right, I want to talk to you a little bit about this survey. Again, the survey is linked in the description of this video. I encourage you to take it. It is a very easy survey. I completed it in just over 10 minutes. It has some really fun, interesting questions about how they're going about getting this fan feedback at HoustonTexans.com for the future of the jersey. So I'm not going to give you the survey. I think it's really worth your time if you do want new uniforms to go in there and give your opinion to the Houston Texans, give your feedback to the Houston Texans, and there's spaces for comments. You could talk about the jerseys, what you do like, what you don't like. I know some people have seen comments on the internet about how they would like changes to the logo and things like that. The survey primarily focuses on the branding of the Texans and the uniforms. I don't think you're going to see a Texans logo change, but some color changes to the uniform, the way the uniform is styled, you could see some differences in that as well. So again, the fan feedback survey that the Texans put out on Thursday is linked in the description of this video. I encourage you to take it. I'll walk you through some of the basics of the survey as I went through it, and we'll talk a little bit about why we think the Texans asked this question and where you can have your influence when you fill out the fan feedback survey as well. So it kind of starts with how big of a football fan are you? What other teams and other sports leagues do you pay attention to? And, this is your typical survey fill out. Like, I kind of paid attention to this team. I do pay attention to this team. I don't pay attention to this team or this league. So kind of your typical stuff like that. I do think there's a very interesting and very clear reason why a certain question was asked, and it was, were you an Oilers fan? And that is asked to me for a very specific reason, and that is to ponder the usefulness of the Oilers colors, the Oilers color schemes, or Oilers-like colors in a uniform redesign for the Texans. If you have enough people who are fans of the Texans who take the time to take a fan feedback survey on HoustonTexans.com, you would think that, okay, if a lot of our fans are also Oilers fans and they really appreciate the Oilers colors, perhaps that is indeed something that we would want to add in or bring into the new color scheme and the new uniforms as an organization. How do you follow the team? How do you engage with the team? Do you own a lot of merchandise from the team? Kind of what does the team do well from that standpoint? Do you like the merchandise? Things of that nature. Descriptions of how you feel currently about the team. Why people tell you, the fan that's filling out the survey, that they do or don't watch the team. Kind of that's in there as well. How satisfied are you with elements of the team? And they include things like coaching, the front office, ownership, as well as the uniforms themselves. Thought that was a very interesting thing to be in there, because if people are going to answer this honestly, and I have no reason to think that you wouldn't, and again, it says very clearly on, there's not any sort of massive identifiers. You don't put your name in or your email in or anything like that. I would think that people are going to answer this pretty honestly, and they're going to be unhappy with the record of the team. They're going to be unhappy with some of the performances of the team on the field, and maybe even some other elements of the organization. So within going through this fan feedback survey, the Texans are going to have a pretty good sense of where their fan base is, not only on their uniforms, but they're going to have a peek into where they are on the performance of the team on the field and how they feel about some of the key members of this organization. What I really liked about the survey, it was, as a fan, do you prefer traditional looks or do you prefer more bold looks? And the examples that they used for traditional and bold are really key, because it gives you a really good sense of exactly how bold is bold and how traditional is traditional. The traditional example, the picture that was in there, was the Green Bay Packers home white uniforms. Okay, so Green Bay Packers, a home white Packers uniform, that's very traditional. The Packers uniform has not changed a tremendous amount in many, many years in the NFL. It's a very traditional uniform. I thought that was a very good example to use from a traditional standpoint. Now, the bold, they picked the perfect bold example. It's the Seattle Seahawks bold jerseys, the highlighter bold jerseys, okay? The highlighter jerseys that the Seahawks wear was sort of their example of what bold is. So they asked you, what kind of uniforms do you like, traditional or bold? And then later on they asked you, if the Texans do indeed redesign these uniforms, do you want it to be more traditional or more bold in the way that they redesign the uniforms? I ended up a little bit closer to bold. I think on a 1 to 10 scale, I put 8 as far as the boldness. Now, I don't want some crazy fading color battle red into Liberty white type of jersey, but I would like a lot of creativity. I would like a lot of excitement to the jerseys, and I feel like that lends itself to more bold. I believe they currently have a really traditional looking uniform, and that is not necessarily basic, but it is easily replicatable. And the colors are the unique aspect of their uniform, not necessarily any of the designs on the uniform. So I thought those were really important questions to answer in the fan feedback survey on HoustonTexans.com. And then they asked you, which of these uniform combinations do you like? Rank these uniform combinations, rank these uniforms. Just how do you feel about the current options and the current combinations that the Texans possess from a uniform standpoint? So it's a very fun survey. Again, it takes about 10 minutes. It is linked below in the description. And I encourage you to have your voice heard and fill out the fan feedback survey about the jerseys. Again, I think on the website, it is very important to note this is not some sort of survey we're going to fill out all, here in December. And then in April or May or June, boom, the Texans have new jerseys. On the website, okay, it very clearly says the team is exploring possibly changing uniforms for the 2024 season. So they got to take a lot of time to get the feedback. They got to take a lot of time to get opinions by fans just like you and me. And then they've got to figure out exactly what they want to do. So they are exploring new uniforms as an organization. And again, the fan feedback survey is yet another data point for them. As the team revealed over the past few months, they've done social media, fan focus groups, current player focus groups. Houston Texans legends have talked about the uniforms as well, and now they want to hear from you in this fan feedback survey on the future of the Texans uniforms. You can catch it in the description below. So, questions I have for you in the comment section that I would like for you to answer. Okay, questions I have for you. Do you want any Oilers colors in this uniform? Do you want some sort of Oiler-esque blue associated with a new uniform? What changes would you make to the current uniform? Would you add or subtract some of the colors that they currently use? And what would you want to change about the uniform for the Houston Texans? I want you to get in the comments, start describing it below, start talking about it. Take the survey in the description as well, and you can have your say in the fan feedback survey on the future of the organization's uniforms. As always, I would love a subscribe down below. I'd love a thumbs up on this video as well, and I'd sure love for you to tell your friends about this channel and about this video. And again, get in those comments, answer those questions. Let's have a conversation down there